Cricut Joy, do you really need it? Hey everybody, it's Christina from Creations with Christina. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe so you can be notified when I post new videos, and don't forget to give today's video a thumbs up. In today's video, we are going to be unboxing the Cricut Joy, setting it up, going over some of the accessories, doing our first cut, and talking about whether or not you really need this machine. This is the Cricut Joy. It ranges about $169, $189, somewhere right around there. It is a compact, smart die cutting machine, and it is Bluetooth compatible. So it'll work with your computer if your computer is Bluetooth compatible, your iPhone, your Android, your iPad, anything like that, as long as you have the Design Studio program on one of those devices. I already went ahead and unboxed this, and I'm going to go ahead and show you what was in the box. Here's what comes in the box. You have your Cricut Joy machine, which fits nicely in the palm of your hand. You also get the power cord, which I already have mine plugged in. You get a little setup guide. It has an envelope with your information on how to get your program and your device connected to your computer. Your warranty. A piece of smart vinyl. Now you'll get a full piece. Mine's already been cut because I already did my test cut. A piece of cardstock and a cutting mat, which is about 4.5 by 6.5 inches. And then you also get a Cricut Joy pen in the black Noir color. And now what I'm going to do is show you how to set this up on your computer. I have my Cricut Joy right here. So I'm just going to pop open the seal on here, and we're going to get this plugged in. It is simply just open, and that's it. In here you have just some foam that's holding underneath to keep the blade in place. We're just gonna go ahead and pull that out. And then we have our blade in here. Now this blade is just like the other Cricut machines. It has the kind of push down where you can pop in and out the blade. The blade is different. It's not the same as you would use in your maker, and it is a different housing. You just pop it in there and close it up. And this thing, once you plug it in and turn it on, is ready to go. That's it. There's no buttons, nothing. All you have to do is plug it into the back. Automatically comes on. You can see there's a light up on the top here that's flashing. And we're ready to go ahead and set this up. So the first thing we need to do is set up the computer so that it's going to connect to the Cricut Joy via Bluetooth. I'm going to go into my system settings and select the Bluetooth. And once it is going here, it'll actually see the Cricut Joy. And we're going to go ahead and click connect. And as you can see, I'm on the Cricut.com/setup page. It's going to ask you to open Design Space. So if you already have Design Space on your computer, you don't need to download it again. Or you can click on download. I'm going to go ahead, you can go ahead and click open, but we're just going to go right to the page. On the Design Space program, in the upper right hand corner, we're going to click New Machine Setup. We're going to select the Cricut Joy, and it's going to connect via Bluetooth right here. I'm going to go ahead and select Continue, and it's going to do some updates on the firmware of your Cricut Joy. Just going to go ahead and select Update. So there we go, our machine is successfully updated. You're going to hear it make a little bit of a noise, and we're going to click on Continue. So we're going to go ahead and accept the terms and click Register and Next. And then it's going to ask us to do a test cut. So we have a couple different options here for our test cut. I'm going to go with crown. No, let's do the flower. So we're going to go ahead and do the flower, and we're going to hit Next. And it's going to tell us prepare for cut. Confirm that your blade is set in place in the chamber. So we're just going to go ahead and open that up. Our blade is in there, and then you can just go ahead and close it. And prepare for a cut. So it's going to ask us to insert our smart vinyl. So we're going to use the smart vinyl that came as a sampler. And when you stick it in here, it should automatically catch it and feed it in. How easy is that? Wow. No pushing buttons to get it to go. So we're just going to go ahead and click on go. Once we're done cutting out, all we have to do is click next on the screen here. We're going to go ahead and click next. And your next option is to unload. There we go. So we have our first image cut out. So there we go. There's my little cutout flower from my test cut. And all I have to do now is just put some transfer vinyl on it and adhere it to whatever I want it to adhere to. Next, I just want to show you some of the accessories that you can get to go with the Cricut Joy. They do have additional mats. There's a 4.5 by 12 inch mat. It comes in a standard grip as well as a light grip. I picked up the standard grip because that's pretty much the one I use the most. And then they have a new one called the Card Mat. And this is an accessory that goes with a new custom card designs that they have on Design Space. And this is gonna be really cool. We're gonna do this in a future video, and I'm gonna walk you through the free ones that they have available for the Cricut Joy, but also how to set up your own. And since we just talked about the card mat, I thought I would tell you about the insert cards. They put together these little packets of insert cards that are for quick and easy, get it done really fast card systems. It works with the card mat. It comes with 12 envelopes, 12 cards, and 12 inserts. They created some cool designs that you can use with the card mat and these inserts that just make really quick, simple cards. So we're going to talk about that in a future video. What makes this system smart, other than the fact that it's Bluetooth, is that they did come up with more accessories that you can actually cut without using a mat. So they have permanent and removable vinyl. These are the sample packs. They're about 5.5 by 12 inch sizes. And you can actually run these. They have a backing on them that allows you to run it through the machine without needing a mat. They also came out with a smart label. It's a writable white vinyl. What you would use is your Cricut pen to write onto vinyls and make labels with that. They also came out with a smart iron-on. This is a sample pack with 3 different colors. The standard size is 5.5 by 48 inches. This one, when you get the sample size, they're 5.5 by 12 inches. Again, it has that white border on the side so that it'll feed right into your machine and you don't have to worry about using a mat. And then they also came out with fusible ink. So they have the fusible ink sheets as well as the infusible ink pens. I didn't buy any of the pens. I just bought the one set of this infusible ink transfer sheets. Speaking of pens, they also have a line of Cricut Joy pens. I bought the ones that I thought for right now that I'm going to use the most, which are the 0.3 black pens and then the 0.4 black, brown, and gray pens. Some of the other accessories they have available are some tools, which I didn't pick any of those up since I have so many tools for my Cricut Maker. But we do also have a smart label. These are sheets of crafts style labels. Again, this is something that you can write on, so you can make different types of labels and write on there what it is if you're doing like a pantry organization or something like that. And then they also have deluxe paper. This is 4.5 by 12 inches, so you do need to use your cutting mat with this, but it is adhesive backed. They have a whole bunch of different colors. I just picked up one so we can try it out and see what it's like. I did open up the package, but I have not worked to see how thick the paper is or anything like that. We'll do that in a future video. There we go. These are some of the accessories that you can get to go with the Cricut Joy. The price of ranging goes from about $5.99 and higher for the accessories. Like I said, the machine is $169 or $89. I think it's $169, but I have seen it for $189 as well. So the question is, do you really need this? Well, I think it depends on if you have a die cutting machine already. I think if you already have one and you're into the big DIY projects and doing stuff around the house and cutting all this vinyl and doing that kind of thing, I don't think you need this. But if you're like me, who's a card maker and sometimes needs to do things really quickly, this is a nice little portable project or a little portable device that I could take downstairs to my main living area, and I could label all the jars in my cabinet. I can quickly take it downstairs to make a fast birthday card, anything like that, because this is a nice size. It's not terribly heavy. It does have a little bit of weight to it. And that I can use it with my iPad makes this very convenient for me. I think if you have a small craft space, this is a great, if you don't have a dedicated craft room, this would be great to have if you wanted to get into die cutting, or even if you have a larger machine, but still want something that you can do some quick vinyl cutting or quick card cutting. This is great to use because I know for me, my big machines are in a separate location, which I have to bring to my desk and use it here, clean everything off. So I think this is a nice little thing that I can keep out and not have to worry about it being in the way of my work area. And then I think if you're into doing the smaller projects, this is definitely something. I am not a DIY. I do on occasion do stuff that's DIY, but I never really show those on videos. This I think is going to be perfect for card makers. If you're into these small projects, even doing little iron-on projects and maybe trying out the infusible ink and doing that kind of stuff, or labeling your jars in your cabinet, I think this is a great way to do it. I don't think you need it if you already have a die cutter. If you have a die cutter and you use it all the time, you don't need to get this. If you have another type of die cutter and wanted to try out the Cricut and see what their program is like and see what their cuts are like, I think this is a good way to start. It does only do vinyl and cardstock, as well as the iron-on stuff as well. If you're into making big projects, this is definitely not something you're going to need. The price, people go back and forth. I've heard some bad things about the price. People don't like that it's $189 or $69. I'm pretty sure my very first Cricut, which was just a little bit bigger than this, was $199. I remember going to AC Moore and being so excited about buying it and trying it out, and that is what started my channel. So we used to call that the baby bug. I think this is now being called the baby bug, but it is $189, and I think that's a really good price considering it's Bluetooth compatible and it's, it is an electronic device. When I had my first machine, we had to put cartridges in, and you had to swap out the cartridges for everything you were cutting. This comes with your design program. You can use the same program that's with the bigger machines, and yeah. So I think I'm kind of both ways. Yes, it is a little expensive, but it is Bluetooth compatible. I mean, I have a little tiny speaker that's like half the size of this that I paid $300 for, and it's Bluetooth compatible, and the only thing it does is play music. I can make things with this, so I'm kind of both ways with the price. Yes, it's a little expensive, but you can do a lot with it. Another little bit of a downside, but there is an upside to this. The smart vinyl. Yes, they did come out with ones that specifically work with the Cricut Joy. It has the border on it so that it'll feed through the machine and you don't need a mat. However, you don't have to buy these. You can go ahead and use the vinyl that you have, or even buy the bigger rolls and use your standard grip mats and do it just like you were doing with the maker. Put your vinyl on here and run it through your machine. So I think there's like an upside and a downside to that. You do not need to buy the smart vinyl. If you're okay with putting it onto your mat, the vinyl onto your mat. If you're doing something quick and you like the convenience of just running this through and not having to worry about a mat, then get these. The prices vary on these. It depends on what you're buying. I know that I have the sampler packs here of the different colors. They do have tons of colors in full rolls, which are 5.5 inches wide by 48 inches. And then they also have 20-foot rolls as well. But I like the convenience of being able to, or just the idea, because I know for me, if I'm working on something and I want to use my Cricut to cut it out, I'm probably gonna design it and never pull my Cricut out, because I don't like having to pull it out from where I store it. So yes, they do have things that are just for this machine, but you can work around that kind of stuff. You can use your own vinyl, or buy the big rolls of vinyl, or if you have a stash of vinyl, like I do. I bought a couple different packs of these. These are not the only ones I bought, because I like the idea of the convenience of just running this through the machine. The other little downside, again, this is something that you can't get around, are the Cricut Joy pens. Now, they have regular Cricut pens that work with your maker. They are not going to work with your Cricut Joy machine. You do have to buy the pens. I'm still okay with that. I swear, I think maybe I've used the regular Cricut pens twice in my maker, but I probably will be using them more often with the Cricut Joy because I've seen some really great projects with the insert cards, as well as figuring out how to make my own, and I just love these pens. Plus, we can make labels, we can write on labels, which I know you can do that with the maker too, but I like that I can take all of this downstairs and work on my projects and not be away from my family and be with them, but still be able to create and do a little craft stuff. The other thing that they did come up with are these insert cards. Again, this is more for convenience. Quick card, you've got everything you need right inside this little box. You've got cards, you've got envelopes, and you have inserts. You just need your phone, your iPad, your computer, whatever you need, and your Cricut Joy, and you can whip up a really quick birthday card very fast. But you can do this without buying these packets. You can make your own cards, make your own inserts, and I'm sure we all, if we're card makers, have a stash of these envelopes, because this is a standard A2 size envelope, which is a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card. That's a look at the Cricut Joy. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, kind of give you an idea of what comes or what you can purchase with the machine, how to set the machine up, how to go through that first cut. And I'm looking forward to doing some more videos and really putting this to the test. The first cut that I did on this was this little flower, and it reminded me a lot like the Cricut Maker. Flew through it. It is a little quieter, I think, a little bit quieter than the Cricut Maker. It's not quite as loud. But what I like is that I got the same feeling when I did my first vinyl cut on the Cricut Maker than I did with this. It was so clean and so smooth. So I'm impressed so far. I know there's good and the bad for this, and I know a lot of people have been talking about the good and the bad, but I'm pretty happy so far with what I've just done, you know, setting it up and doing my very first cut. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more videos on the Cricut Joy machine, and I will see you back here next time. Thanks for watching.